The death penalty is cruel and unusual punishment which should be considered unconstitutional by the Eighth Amendment of the Constitution. The Eighth Amendment of the Constitution states, excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. The last part of the Eighth Amendment states, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. This goes against all that the death penalty stands. The death penalty should be considered unconstitutional. Law enforcement does not support the claim that the death penalty deters crime. According to Amnesty International, the murder rate in non-death penalty states is lower than those states who implement the death penalty. When criminals are committing a crime, they are usually under the influence of drugs and/or alcohol. When criminals are committing a crime, they do not stop and think about the consequences that could go after the crime is committed. They do not think about getting arrested or going to jail, or perhaps that they could get the death penalty. That is why the death penalty is considered the least effective way at deterring crime. According to the ACLU, police chiefs actually rank the death penalty as the least effective form of crime deterrence. As I've said before, the death penalty is cruel and unusual punishment. Although those on death row have killed, how are we any different if we kill them? We are doing to them what they did to others. Yes, killing people is not right, and they should be punished, but not so we can take their life away. We would be taking another human's life away. They have friends and they have family who care about them. And although that person did take another person's family or friend away from them, we should not do to them what they did to others. We as a people and a government should be better than them. The death penalty forms of killing include lethal injections, hanging, firing squad, which puts the person in the middle of the room blindfolded, and police officers surrounding the room and firing at them until the person is shot dead. Another form is electrocution or beheading. Now, firing squad in general is an inhumane way of killing someone, and electrocution because that is cruel and unusual punishment and painful. That is why the lethal injection was brought about, to make it so that the death penalty would have a form to not be painful. But this is not often the case. For example, in Arizona, after a man received the lethal injection for about 10 minutes, he started gasping for air. This gasping for air lasted 1 hour and 30 minutes. 43 minutes after he died, he was declared dead of a heart attack. Not by lethal injection, but a heart attack. That man suffered for 1 hour and 30 minutes. Coretta Scott King, a woman whose husband and mother-in-law were murdered, states, I stand firmly and unequivocally opposed to the death penalty for those convicted of capital offenses. An evil deed is not redeemed by an evil deed of retaliation. Justice is never advanced in the taking of a human life. Morality is never upheld by a legalized murder. Even a woman whose husband and mother-in-law were murdered, she would not do to the person who murdered them what that person did to her family, because she knows that the taking of a human life, as she said, would not advance justice. It would just set it back. Of the 7,482 people who have been executed, over 200 of them have been proved innocent today. That means 200 innocent people would be alive today if the death penalty did not take them away from their family and friends. 200 people would be alive today. As the saying goes, innocent until proven guilty is not right here. They were proven innocent after they died, and they could have stayed alive and be proven innocent and alive today if the death penalty did not take them away. $1.8 million is the amount to take to implement a death row trial and even more to get an appeal. In California, it costs $137 million to implement the death penalty on annual, then on annual, $11.5 million to actually keep them in prison. State and local governments bear the cost of the death penalty, which means we, as taxpayers, also bear the cost of the death penalty. The money used to execute someone could go towards education reform or prison reform. The prisoners that are imprisoned could get counseling and therapy for their actions and hopefully know that what they did was wrong and never do it again, and whether they could get parole and know that they could be loved by their friends and family again and not be killed. The death penalty is an inhumane way of carrying out justice. It takes another human life away from this earth, another human life away from their friends and family. It involves inhumane ways of killing someone, such as firing squad or execution, or lethal injection. It is an irredeemable way to give justice to those who have killed others. As I have said before, it is inhumane, it is not cost effective, it goes against the Constitution, and it does not allow those who have been claimed innocent to come back. The death penalty should be considered unconstitutional.